Well, I thought it was really a hard-fought game between two teams that played the game very hard. I credit Xavier a lot, thought they had a great game plan. We knew going into the game that they're going to play their 1-3-1, and we also knew that they were excellent in getting the ball inside. They remind me a lot of Gonzaga and how they use their big guys to score and then throw the ball out. So we expected a tough game, and that's exactly what we got. I feel bad, last couple of weeks playing against places and people that I've been, it's very difficult. And, I'm proud to say that at one point I was associated with Xavier, and I certainly wish them well. Always tough to see a season end. And when you end it, sometimes it's easy to move on, but in this case for me, it's a lot more difficult. On our end, very proud of these guys. I thought there were a couple trying moments in the game where if we didn't have the resolve, experience of being through what we've been through the last couple of years, we could have folded. But we hung in there, and our defense and rebounding eventually took over, and we ended up winning a hard-fought battle.
Zach Brazil, New York Post. Coach, you talked about how tough these last few games were for you personally, facing obviously people you're so familiar with. Will there be any relief facing someone you're not necessarily friends with?
In some ways, yes. It's just hard. The tournament is difficult in and of itself to prepare and know that if you lose, you're done. But when you play against people that you've worked with for long periods of time and you've been in the trenches with, you've been in games like this with before, it's hard when they're on the other side. And same thing with some of the people that cheer for them. You're used to them cheering for you. It feels different. But this isn't about me. Obviously, tonight was a Sweet 16 game, and we're here in the West Regional because we've earned it. And I thought, the atmosphere in the building was great, and I know it'll be terrific again on Saturday. But we're very excited to continue to be playing.
Paula Bovin, Arizona Republic. Sean, you were talking about resilience and how your team showed it. Was Caleb an example of that? He seemed to really sort of step up in the second half of the second half.
Caleb is the one guy on our team who doesn't get enough credit. A lot of times he's not our leading scorer, and we have a balanced group. So our leading scorer a lot of times gets the credit for playing or the reason we won. But he does his job is how I would describe him. And there aren't many front court players that can play Stainbrook one-on-one like he did. Now, Stainbrook had his moments, and if you look, 17 and 10 is a great night. But he had one offensive rebound, and one of the strategies for us is we didn't want him to provide 10 to 20 points for his teammates because they do a great job of throwing it into him, and he's such a terrific passer that all of a sudden the floodgates open from three or they get the ball moving. And the reason it started to move is because you had to help on Stainbrook, and now it's both. He's not only scoring inside, but their perimeter attack is thriving because of him. I believe we gave up one three-point shot because of our help on him, and we tried our best to let Caleb play one-on-one. Once Caleb got 4 fouls, we mixed in a trap. I thought we had one really good trap, maybe one or two terrible traps. But they're a difficult team to defend. The reason we won, in my opinion, is Caleb's double-double and his very good defense, doing it he did what we asked him to do. And I thought that was as big of a reason as we've advanced as any.
Coach, Ted Sobel, the Beast 980 here in L.A., and I'm curious the familiarity of the Badgers and how that will affect your preparation into this one, also from a psychological standpoint with the guys being as psyched as I'm sure they will be. And are you going to wear a different color red? It's going to be a lot of red in here.
Yeah. Well, we've had all year to think about Wisconsin, and a lot like us, they're on a 2-year run that's really unprecedented. I think you look at what we were last year. I think we lost 5, so we're 69-8 over 2 years. I think if you put their record up over that same 2-year period, they're right there. So we've had a group of guys that both in their program and in ours who've really gotten the job done. Last year's game could have gone either way. I think they know that. But the one advantage that I do think we have is Wisconsin's style is so unique, the way they move the ball, the way they play their man-to-man defense. Kaminsky is a unique player the fact that we prepared for them, we've played against them, I think that we at least know what to expect. So in some ways, maybe that's to our advantage. Now, Stanley wasn't here last year, and they have some new faces, et cetera. But I do think that familiarity in some way has to help us.
Jill Painter-Lopez, Fox Sports West. Coach, in this last year from that loss, have you guys used that as a motivational tool? Have you guys talked about that Wisconsin loss a lot? Have you guys stayed away from it totally? How much has that been talked about?
Well, of course, it's motivation to see if you can get back to this level. Very seldom are you right there in an Elite Eight game that you lose in overtime, and then the next year you're back, let alone playing the same team. So there's some uniqueness to that. But I think a lot of our players were motivated this offseason to come back and make a run at this. And here we are. And that's really to our credit. As you know, especially in this tournament, that's not an easy thing to accomplish. So we have to take advantage of it over these next couple of days and do the things that make us a good team. I know Wisconsin's going to do the same, and we'll see how it goes.
Lindsay, go ahead.
Sean, what did you think of that shot that TJ took? Such a weird game, and how big was it for you guys in that moment?
He's done that a number of times over the last 2 years where he doesn't have a very good night shooting the ball, but when he takes the big one, it seems to go in. I think that reveals a lot of his character, but tonight, he let some of his early misses affect him. And in the first half, he was not himself. I think that coupled with Rondé going down and then getting 2 fouls, 2 of our key players really weren't themselves. And obviously, we're playing against a very good team. In the second half, Rondé emerged more, but TJ was much more himself in the second half. But he has the ability to take the big shot and make it. I think that's one of the reasons that we're here today.
So were you nervous? That's what I wonder.
Was I nervous when he shot it? No, as long as he takes a good shot, that's a good shot for us. And a wide open shot for him, he's one of our best shooters when his feet are set.
Zach, other side, on the aisle here.
Zach to the New York Post. I'm not sure how much of the first game you watched, but it seemed like both games were very similar. The favorite struggles for about 30 minutes and then pulls away late, and both teams kind of point to their experience and their resolve. What's going to happen Saturday when both teams are kind of equally experienced and equally tough? And
it's going to be a great game. It is, and we, like I said, respect Wisconsin, not just because we lost to them in last year's Elite Eight, but we've followed them. We've watched them all year. They've had a tremendous year, and they have a terrific team, and we know they play their brand of basketball. I hope it comes down, on our end to a couple plays at the end, and this time maybe we'll make them.
Right here on the far right, please.
Sam Vecini, CBSSports.com. How is Rondé's knee looked like? Is he all good?
I think he's okay, yeah. I think he was scared. He has maybe a low-grade sprain, but he was able to obviously play in the second half. He had some great rebounds that helped us win the game in the second half. But as you know, he's a very tough kid. We'll take tomorrow, be smart with him, and I think he should be fine by Saturday.